Righto, we've got a stove here. Pretty self-explanatory. One time, somebody was using a stove and they'd finished using it. They'd piled up their dishes, the cookware on the sink, and they were having their food on the table. And there was a big eggs. I came along to do my cooking for my lunch, and there was a big egg splurge here. Quite a significant splurge. This is the kind of thing that, to me, you clean it up quickly when there's egg splurge on a hot surface like this, kind of one glass stovetop. It turns into concrete pretty quickly, and it gets really hard to get off. About 100 times harder it becomes to get off than when you could easily just go boom, paper towel or some chucks, some rag. So me coming along thinking that there's a good chance this person doesn't even know it's there and they've mistaken it for water or something. Now the difference between water, that's pretty obvious, pretty self-explanatory. Bit of oil, even leaving a bit of oil is a bit, maybe they know about it because the oil's not going to change, it's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to become like concreted on. So as I'd ascertained that it was egg, I reported to the person eating their lunch that it was egg, and the person said, well, isn't it obvious to you that I haven't had a chance yet to clean it up? And, all I said was, there's a big egg splurge here. And I said, well, it's not obvious. Especially, I didn't say this, but especially when there's a spatula and a frying pan on the sink and maybe even a chopping board. So there has been some kind of activity occurring between proceeding to cook and eating. There's been some other activity other than specifically just cooking on the stove. So I said, well, it's not obvious, And it really isn't, because there's Chuck's towels there, there's paper towels there. You just easily just go, boom, that's 99% of the problem gone. You want 100%, do another couple of booms. So it's not obvious. And this is kind of like 10-second work, The heat in the food is not really going anywhere in that time. Nowhere you'd really be worried about. And when I said that it's not obvious, and I explained that they could easily have cleaned it, actually, I was told, shut the fuck up, dickhead. And that's when the problem started. I, for some reason, was pinned off the bat for being belligerent, for starting a problem, for being nitpicky. Even the owner of the house came along and later in the afternoon and got informed by this person who told me fuck up and dickhead. And then the owner of the house came and approached me and said, look, I hear you've been causing problems. I was like, no, I was just letting them know about the egg splurge that I saw. Just reporting it, just announcing it. I said, well, you're being nitpicky. And I said, why is that the only option? Why is that the only thing that you can think, that the only reason that I would say that? And even to the point where it seems that they think that it's really the only reason, because the owner will still, a couple of days later, be talking about it, being a bit referencing to it, a bit smart-ass maybe, saying, oh, look at that oil there, you better clean that oil up. It's like, don't you get it? I wasn't saying you better clean up this kitchen that's not even mine, that I'm using. maybe an underlying rationale too that I had was, I'm about to use this stove. I want to just let the person know through the back way that I've just cleaned up after them. Why would I want to let them know that? Well, why would I clean up after them? And if I didn't clean up after them and let them know, they're going to think that there's a high chance they're going to think I made that egg stain there, which will be concreted there and need some kind of chiseling action on it, or some hard scrubbing with a scour or something. So there's plenty of rational reason to inform someone that you've found an egg stain. Plenty enough not to be automatically pinned for being someone who's trying to start tension or being nitpicky. It's just a basic announcement, and when someone goes off at you for making a basic announcement, or for replying in the same way that they did, when you tell them actually it's not obvious, if you want to tell me it's obvious that you cannot clean it up at this stage, it's not actually obvious, for the record. And then when I'm told, shut the fuck up, dickhead, I might say the same words back. And that's really all there is to it. And they've started it by going off and saying those fighting words. It's pretty. If he wants to tell me what's obvious, then he has to accept that I might tell him what's obvious too, albeit in a much calmer and nicer tone. But if this has been something that now in this household has cemented the idea that I'm someone who's nitpicky and I've got a history of starting problems over this kind of thing. It's just absolutely whacked out of reality. And while I'm here, I may as well... Nah, I won't go there. That'll do for now.